Welcome to Emotional Intelligence, where we discover how identifying and managing emotions builds strong interpersonal skills. Having high emotional intelligence is often linked to business leaders for its fundamental role in excelling in professional environments with colleagues. To fully grasp the concept, first we will need to define emotional intelligence. Then, take a deep dive into its 5 aspects. This will lead us to examples of high and low EI, showcasing how leaders use emotional intelligence to effectively handle conflict and manage their teams. Lastly, we will explain various methods to improve your emotional intelligence. What does emotional intelligence mean? Emotional intelligence, also referred to as EI, is how we identify our emotions, allowing us to behave appropriately through our actions. The emotions of others cannot be controlled. However, EI allows us to understand the feelings of others and the reasoning behind their behavior. This understanding helps us take the best strategy for interactions. Having a high EI is beneficial for building positive relationships, resolving conflicts, and conducting effective collaborations. The goal is to think before you act. Let's broaden our understanding by describing the 5 aspects that make up EI. Self-awareness plays a key role in EI. The first step is to identify how we are feeling before we act. Taking a few moments to acknowledge the feeling and self-reflect is crucial. It all starts with us. The next step is to understand why we are feeling this way. Are we upset because an employee won't complete a task? Or frustrated because our manager isn't providing enough details for you to accomplish your goals? Perhaps you are elated at an employee's performance. Even positive emotions need bias. Understanding how we are feeling and why helps us to control our response. Next up, self-regulation. Understanding how we are feeling and why will help us respond logically instead of responding emotionally. Impulsive decision-making stems from a high emotional state. Now that you have taken a moment to think about the feeling and where it is coming from, you can now act positively without bias. For example, we may have been upset that work isn't getting done. Instead of chastising the employee, you can discuss the issue, professional or personal, to gain insight for a course of action. Or for that employee that made you feel excited and thankful for their performance, because other team members don't have the same work ethic, you place this person on a pedestal, possibly making others feel underappreciated. Taking action after knowing how and why we feel allows us to respond appropriately. Empathy is when we understand how someone is feeling and provide a sense of reassurance. Providing empathy goes a long way, instead of ignoring someone's emotions and getting straight to business. Lack of acknowledging emotions makes us feel the person doesn't care and may seem like they are only in it for themselves. Empathize in positive situations as well and listen intently. That employee that wasn't getting work done explains they had a family member pass away. Providing solace shows that you care about them and their performance. This is a segue for getting back to business and discussing a course for success. Empathy and social skills go hand in hand. It isn't a chess game, but an awareness to the emotions and needs of others. It gives us the ability to pick up on emotional cues and recognize the hierarchy in a group. We know how to nurture relationships, communicate effectively, and influence others. Here are some phrases that demonstrate strong social skills. I was wrong. It takes a strong person and a great leader to admit their faults. Are you okay? Social awareness of others' nonverbal cues can help spot a possible issue, allowing you to discuss and come to a suitable resolution. How can I help? Not everyone is a jack of all trades. They might be struggling and need some assistance. It's not about playing the hero, but it is about being the support beam. I encourage you to apply these phrases in your next conversation and see what a difference it makes. Those with high EI tend to have well-formed, realistic inner goals, perhaps even altruistic. However, monetary gain or social power is not a motivator. They value deep, emotional, measurable goals, while celebrating even the smallest achievements. They see the success of others as their own. Developing self-motivators helps us celebrate success while keeping a mindset that we can always improve and do better. Make a list of your motivators and examine them to identify true drivers of personal satisfaction. To strengthen our learning, let's review some examples of low EI. Exhibiting outbursts, usually scenarios blown out of proportion. Having a hard time listening to others. Being argumentative. Blaming others. Unwilling to see contrasting points of view or overly sensitive, demonstrates they are unable to comprehend others' emotions. On the other hand, those with a high EI are openly and respectfully expressive, without fear of offense. They are flexible with requests and expectations. The freedom to be creative is valued and encourages input. Actively listens with a deep understanding. They tend to be asked for advice or to lend an ear. Here are examples of how professional leaders use EI to manage their teams. Develop goals and a plan of action to execute them efficiently. Educate members of the importance of a strong work ethic. Boost morale, passion, confidence, and optimism. Welcome change. Foster cooperation and trust. You may be wondering, how can EI be improved? Here are some key points. Detect emotions as you feel them, and ask yourself, why do I feel this way? Notice your behaviors, and think about why you're acting in a particular way. Question and explore your internalized ideas and feelings. Acknowledge the negative events in life, and develop a sense that it doesn't define you. Identify what triggers negativity, and avoid them. Take ownership and hold yourself accountable. Celebrate positivity in all areas of life. Make a commitment to improve managing your emotions. Allow for mistakes, and learn from them. Don't deteriorate the value you bring to the world. A great place to start is by seeing where your EI falls. Go ahead and click the icon to take the EI test. Thank you for your time and attention during the Emotional Intelligence presentation. Have a great day.